poor friend Vic here, he's up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. This is like 2 in the morning for him. Well, thank you, Jack, and thank you. And, you know, before I was speaking to Barbara, and I said, you know, Barbara, the Jesuits are known as great educators. They started in Spain, and if you had to sum up their mission, it's very simple. It's men and women for others. And so there's so many wonderful people here tonight. And also, Bernie, thank you for coming up from Florida to be here and away from your family. And Bernie's son, Joseph, and my son, Mikey, like to wrestle and fight and play swords together. And I have so many good friends that are here and came out, and it's very kind of everyone to be here. You know, Mal, congratulations. Mal is a terrific chairman at the Cleveland Clinic. Mal and Sam, I think, were responsible for recruiting me to come on the clinic board. And it is actually Mal Mixon's idea to start a government and community relations department. And Mal was the one who asked me if I would chair that. So Mal, thank you for the opportunity to be of service. And what can we say about Sam Miller? There's only one Sam Miller. There'll never be another one. And we love him. I talk to Sam almost daily, and we have an awful lot of fun. Several years back, my daughter Diana said, Dad, I need a favor from you. I said, Diana, what can I do? She said, I want you to be the guest speaker at Gilmore High School for all 4 classes and for all the parents. And my daughter Diana was, a little more challenging than my other 4 children. And like I would say, hi, Di, when she was a cheerleader, and she says, Dad, you're embarrassing me. Now my son Nicky, who was here earlier, I'd come down to his football games, I'd have a cashmere coat, and I'd have a little fedora on, and I'd look like Clemenza, and, he'd laugh. He was never embarrassed, But Diana said, I need you to speak. And so I said, okay. Well, I got the dates mixed up because she gave me the wrong date. And I was in Naples, Florida, and I was actually national membership chairman for a group called Legatas, which is a group founded by my good friend Tom Monahan, who was an orphan and was raised by Polish nuns, and also Mal, a Marine. And he started an organization of Catholic COs that would learn their faith, live their faith, and spread their faith in their business and professional lives. And I've got to know Tom very well, and I'm down there at a meeting, and he says, tomorrow we have the full board meeting. We've had the executive committee, and I said, I can't be here. He said, what do you mean you can't be here? You're national membership chairman. You're helping us develop this whole marketing program to build the organization. I said, I know, I have to give the speech tomorrow at 7 o'clock at Gilmore High School. He goes, no, but you got to be here. I said, I can't. I can't say no to my daughter. So I didn't get back home until like 1 or 2 in the morning that night. So I'm on the airplane, I'm saying, what the hell am I going to talk about? I'm not a professional speaker. And she said, Dad, speak about service or leadership or something like that. So I said, okay. So I went to give this talk, and I said, you know what? Leadership is service. That's what it's all about. So I passed out all this candy, right? And I talked about the law of reciprocity. And I said, you know what? You only get in life what you want if you give away what you want. So if you want love and affection, give it. If you want a friend, be a friend. If you want success, help somebody else be successful. If you give away what you want, you end up getting what you want. And this is what I told the kids. And I ended up giving this talk and telling all kinds of stories, and I ended up with a standing ovation, and then I got invited to speak at Beaumont and St. Joe's and Central Catholic, Our Lady of the Elms, St. Joe's. I mean, I got all these schools. And then my friend Mark Krantz here asked me to speak to junior achievements out at Normandy High School, and then they asked me to do this telecast last week where they broadcasted in front of all these kids all over the state. I haven't figured out how to make any money doing it yet, so I'm not that good of an entrepreneur. But I was in Alaska at a Young President's Conference, and I was there with my good friend Bob Stein, and Bob was the chairman and CEO of Dairy Mart. And we insured all 1,000 stores and provided all their risk management and provided all their services for them. Unfortunately, they're no longer in business. And there were 35 speakers at this YPO event. And there was one guy named Robert Spitzer, S.J. And I said, wait a minute now. YPO is not a religious organization. YPO doesn't even talk about religion. It's a business group of young CEOs. And he had a talk called The 4 Secrets of Happiness, The Journey of Excellence, The Spirit of Leadership. And I said, hey, let's go to it. Well, he spoke for the next hour, and I was totally mesmerized. So I said, Father, I went to a Jesuit school. I got to bring you to Cleveland to speak. We're starting this organization of Catholic business leaders. He says, oh, I know, I speak at the conventions. Well, I didn't know a few months later when I went on a national board of directors that Father Spitzer would be our chaplain. Later did I know I wouldn't be on Father Spitzer's board. I'm on his board today. He's the president of Gonzaga University. And I actually called him. I said, hey, tell me about this Father Niehoff. He's going to be coming to Carroll. Is he as good of a man as I hear? And Father Spitzer said he's a good man. He's a very, very, very good man. And so Gonzaga has been a very, very successful university. But what he talked about that day that mesmerized me, he said, you know what? If you study Aristotle and Socrates, okay, the great philosophers, they said what people really want in life is to be happy. And so they do everything to be happy, get married or their business or careers or start a business. And he said the four secrets of happiness are the following. He said level one happiness is having, for me, a bowl of ice cream, or maybe a half a gallon, okay? Level two, he said, and he looked out in the audience and said, all you young entrepreneurs, this is where you're at. Level two happiness is power, success, control, achievement. Nothing wrong with it if you're aiming at level three. You see, if you're only at level two, you're going to get into what he called the comparison game. I got 100 McDonald's, he's got 2. Mel's got $1.8 billion in sales, and Sam's going to try to do $2 billion in sales. He's got $5 billion in sales, and Vasily Dairy's got $3 billion in sales, and Orlando's got $5 billion in sales, and you'll never be happy. He's now level three. Level three is when business people figure out where do you go from success to significance. In the book Halftime, where do you go from success to significance? Guys like Jack Breen, and guys like Jack Cale, and guys like Sam Miller, and guys like Mel Mixon, and guys like the Masellis and the Orlandos and the DiGeronimos and John Petka, and so many people have figured out it's not about them. It's about how you make a difference in somebody else's life. How can you be that conduit? And so Father Spitzer said, now level 4, understand, is like those guys work like full time for like God. That's Mother Teresa, Pope John Paul. Now he said, remember, our default factor every day is level 1 and level 2 because we're human. And we're always going to fall back. Level 3 you have to work at. But if you work at level 3, it becomes contagious. And you truly get tremendous satisfaction. And so as I look here at John Carroll, where, you know, I struggled a little bit as a student. Dr. Navratil knows that, okay? And Vince Panicki gave me a D, Jack. And I went up to him and said, there must have been a mistake. Because someday I'm going to hire your firm. And Chuck Chuney, who's the managing partner of Chuney & Panicki, is here tonight. And I said, you must have made a mistake. And what Vince Panicki said, because I did make a mistake. You should have had an F. So if I were you, get the hell out of here. And I'll tell 2 quick stories and let it go. And Vic DiGeronimo loves this story. My first day of class, my father said, oh, by the way, when you go to John Carroll, we put the new sewers in for the dormitory. We didn't put any of those like manhole covers. So make sure you stop at East Jordan and pick up those manhole covers. Otherwise, the kids are going to go fall in the sewers. So I was probably the only kid with a blue pickup truck that had to pick up manhole covers that weighed 250 pounds. They loaded them up, and my truck went like this. So I went to put the first manhole cover down, and I went to put it down, and I put it down. They gave me the wrong one. It went boom. So now it's all the way down. So now I climb in the sewer, and I'm a little big, and I'm trying to get the manhole cover, and I'm trying to lift it up. And I'm getting full of mud and dirt, and I can't move it and lift it. So then I go out and get a rope in the truck, and I go down and I tie it and I lift it up. Now I'm a half hour late for my first class in college. And I come in and I'm full of mud. And my professor was Father Carrera. He was a tough Spanish guy. He had one leg this big, one leg that big, okay? He said, where the hell have you been? I said, I had to put the manhole covers on the sewers, otherwise the kids were going to fall in and they would get hurt. He said, let me tell you something, kid. I've been teaching here 35 years. I've heard a lot of stories. Then my next class was philosophy. I walk in, I'm not saying too much, and he says, hey, what's your name? I said, Umberto Fedeli. Prove God exists. I'm thinking, now, you know what, this guy wants to really bust my chops over here. I'm in the sewer. So yeah, I said, he goes, well, start off with this chair. I said, all right. I said, you can see the chair. Not good enough. You can sit in the chair. Not good enough. You can feel the chair. Not good enough. And Larry, I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to grab this chair, I'm going to smash it on your head, and you tell me if it exists or not. So after class, he goes, you and I have to talk a little bit. I said, boy, I'm already in trouble. I haven't even got through my second class. And then they towed my car, and I got in trouble for threatening the security guard, you know what I'm saying, because I had to go back to work. And so I had a lot of challenges.